No, it's on. There.
I'm also in the meet.
Alright, now it's on. Hi everyone, last Q&A of the day. Thanks everyone for coming, it's been awesome. So, we have Cary, Michael, and Meester. I'll let them properly introduce themselves.
Hello. Hello, I'm Cary, and what is my biggest achievement? Scale of the universe. Ooh, okay.
Hi, I'm Michael. I'm Cary's twin brother. Yeah.
I'm Meester Tweester. So I'm a contestant. Wow, I'm in the top 2 right now. And I also did speedruns of BFDI 5B. Yeah. Woo! Yeah. I live in Texas, so this was gonna be.
Didn't you want something more?
Yeah. Corson has it now.
Okay, I'm sure it's a close race.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Alright, so I think we'll just move on to the Q&A format. So, does anybody have a question? Alright.
What is the shadow character that appears in IDFB1?
What is the shadow character that appears in IDFB1? I think that's supposed to be a secret, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel like it's something that like I can't just reveal here and now because it's got to be like revealed on YouTube. You know, it would be weird if you guys knew, but like no one else on the internet knew.
Yes. So the answer is cannot be disclosed. All right. Next question. All right, you in the back here.
How did you pick the original 20 characters in BFDI?
How did you pick the original 20 characters in BFDI?
So at the start, I think I just sort of picked characters based on the characters that already existed. So Fiery was the first, and then of course you need someone who can exterminate Fiery. So that's why Teardrop was second, I think. And it sort of like kept, you know, going through that cycle. So Spongy has to be the one to like absorb Teardrop, and that sort of happened like I think for all the first 16, and then. I think what's special is that for the last 4 characters, which were Leafy, Pin, Pen, and Needle, I picked them because I wanted to be gender neutral. So it's like, you know, 10 male characters and 10 female. And like, we weren't there yet. It was like 9 versus 7. So that's why like Leafy, Pin, and Needle are female, but only Pen is male. Also like the gender matching up with the object, like sometimes it doesn't like match what you expect, which I think is a good thing. Yeah, because then it means like the show is like not, I don't know, fitting stereotypes, which is fun.
Oh yeah. Also, like, just all of it happening in 2009 and 2008, like, makes me think like all of it happened so fast. Yeah. And I remember like even the idea of fire, sponge, and water just being like rock, paper, scissors. I thought that was like. That blew my mind at the time. Yeah.
I didn't create BFDI.
That's a good answer.
Good answers. All right. You with the blue hair.
Sorry, I forgot my question.
All right. Next question. You in the water shirt. Aquarius shirt?
Eric. Anyways, so I was gonna ask, is there any reason in particular why Donut was the one who received, like, the 4 injection thing? I don't know what they call it. You know that episode.
Oh, the one with the twinkle of contagion?
Yeah.
All right. Why is Donut the one to receive the injections?
Injection. I'm trying to remember what happens.
I honestly forgot.
I thought it was about 4 being multiplied by 0.
Oh, right.
I like that.
Oh yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, factor. 4 is a factor.
Yeah, because like, oh yeah.
Can I back up my question? Because I'm so dumb. I forgot that was what happened. How did you come up with the idea for that happening?
I think, it's like a few years ago, but I think 4 and X were the hosts for 6 episodes, and we were like, we need to shake it up a bit. We need to remove them to see what the characters do to react to that. And it was like, you know, them dying in a very standard way, which would be very boring, but like, you know, they're numbers, so like a fun way you can get rid of them is multiply them by 0, and that kind of like fun, like, is part of like, I guess, leading into the fact that it's algebra. It's like, oh, educational, kids are learning. Yeah, anything times 0 is 0, hooray!
I agree.
It's important to teach math. This is how we show 0 times anything is 0. Yeah. So, thank you for coming to my class.
Awesome. BFDI is an incredibly educational show. All right, you in the white jacket.
Was there any characters that got or cut short because of elimination, or like any ideas that you wanted to put with characters but got cut short because they got eliminated?
Got it. So, are there any ideas that you had that you didn't get to put in because the character got eliminated?
The first 3 that got eliminated actually returned.
Oh yeah, that is one interesting thing, is that technically the lowest ranking contestant from season 1 is Woody, who was the 4th to be eliminated. But in terms of like stories cut short, I remember when Match got eliminated in BFDI 14, like a couple days before voting ended, like the results were actually showing that Rocky was going to be eliminated. So I had written an entire alternate episode where Match is still in, and like Rocky has to compete in that like bread loaf contest like to rejoin, and that's why there's all those clips of like him doing the infinite barfing of himself. But like the thing is, I didn't want to cut that out after Matt started getting like way more votes. So now what happens is that like Rocky's doing the infinite barfing for no reason. So yeah, like I guess if I wrote a weird storyline, I would just keep it.
I think Flower winning the BFB is good. Full circle from Flower being the first to be eliminated. Flower goes away. Jason LeBoy's quote.
Yeah, that's true. Full circle.
You know, it's such a. I imagine it was such a challenge to write, depending on the votes, because then you have like 20 or 21 days left in the month to do your whole episode. Yeah.
Yeah, early BFB was like every 2 weeks. It's too tight. Yeah. No wonder it's only 2 days of voting for every 2 weeks.
Right. Yeah. Oh, and then one other example I think is Lai, because I don't know if this is like a big deal or not, but you know, when she gets eliminated, there's the whole weird thing about like her flipping over, and then like there's another side. I think if she weren't eliminated, then like I could have explained more what was going to happen. But I don't want to like explain further now for the same reason as the other question. Maybe it's time for a rejoin. Who knows?
All right, awesome question. Next up, you, the black arm sleeves.
Who is the hardest character to voice?
Who is the hardest Who is the hardest character to voice?
It's always loser. It's always loser. Yeah. I can't speak. I think when I can't do loser, I have to just do, you know, a worse version. And I think, you know, the truest loser voice is in episode 1 of BFB. I think that was when I had like months to be able to like get one syllable out of one take, get the next syllable out of the next take. I don't know if that's ever been revealed, but like nothing loser says in episode 1 of BFB is done in one take. Each sentence is made of individual syllables. So that's why loser is the hardest.
I actually didn't even know that about loser. Like I thought when you weren't doing loser, you just like weren't feeling it. But I guess it's like something that just your vocal cords have to be in the right place, right time. I think for me it's grassy, because like I have to inhale. And I find that like 50% of the time after doing a line, I have to cough. Yeah, because like my vocal cords are not supposed to be doing that. But it's like a sacrifice, you know? Like if Grassy wants to talk, I have to make that sacrifice for him.
Sacrifices must be made.
Yeah, exactly, sacrifices.
The hardest one was teardrop.
Awesome question. Wow. Brian, you have a question?
Hi. So my question is, I feel like in the first episode of BFB, the characters are like almost like caricatures of themselves because they're like overly exaggerated. Like for instance, Pencil and Match were always like, you know, like very selfish and like very mean to people outside of their alliance. But in BFB, they're just straight up evil.
I know.
Like it's telling people, like go shock Flower, go shock Spongy. Do you feel like, was that like intentional, or did you want to like make everyone like a little bit more dramatic, a little bit more exaggerated, or was that just an unintentional sort of thing?
Did you intentionally exaggerate character traits in BFB?
Do you have any thoughts? Oh, okay. Yeah, I feel like, I know there's a term for that, right? Like Flanderization. And I think, like, I really feel like Pencil was a little too mean in BFB 1. And I think what I will say is that, like, I thought that, like, when Matt started doing weird things in BFDIA, like she called Ice Cube an ugly menace, I thought like, oh, that's so funny. So I just like thought like, oh, the worse she is, the funnier it is. But if you actually graph like worseness and like funniness, it doesn't like keep going up and up. There's a certain point where like the meanness is like so bad that you're like, come on now, that's not cool. So I think it's just a lesson learned, and I think if I were to like go back in time and rewrite it, I probably wouldn't have made the whole Fanny Zap thing happening, because that was pretty graphic. Yeah.
I agree. I think also it's like early BFB is a lot of written by myself and Satomi, and I think just the fact that we had completely new writers too was like made it very easy to just go into a whole new mindset of just going wild.
Yeah. I imagine it's harder when you have 64 contestants trying to write all of them in an episode, and like sometimes some wouldn't get any screen time because there's just too many, I think. And that gets easier when there's less contestants. So that's why late seasons are so fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, just because like when you have 64, if you want everyone to be memorable in some way, you really have to like crank up the memorable trait to the extreme so that they don't like blend in to the other characters that are sort of nearby. So yeah, maybe seasons with like 10 characters could actually be interesting. Who knows?
Good question, Brian. All right, you in the gray hoodie. How did you guys come up with the exit in BFB?
Oh, before I answer, I think maybe we should transition to standing now.
Oh, because of the sun?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was
All rise.
yeah, all right.
Well, one thing I know about the exit was that, like, before it actually existed, I remember I was brainstorming like acronyms that could be funny in the same way that like TLC is like Tiny Loser Chamber, but it's also Tender Loving Care. So I was brainstorming things that like could stand for, I don't know, like math or learning or something. And I think Michael was the one who said like, let's just make the letters EXIT and have no connection with the actual words. Yeah, I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, I think that falls in line with everything I did during BFB, in that I don't have very much memory of it. So when I remember, like, yeah, writing on the storyboard, EXIT, I'm thinking, you know what? Let's just not even put in the effort to make it match. Because how are you gonna come up with the second word of EXIT?
Yeah. There's only so many words in the English language. There's like 5, so eventually you run out. Yeah.
Oh, and then one last thing is that I want to give a lot of credit to Dunkelblau, who designed the 3D artwork for the exit, because I think the sort of vibe that it has would not exist at all if it weren't for that like 3D effect.
Dunkel carried that scene. Dunkelblau really made the exit look like how it does. So I think I'm really thankful for that.
Awesome. Next question. You in the green shirt.
Do you think in some way you manifest Fiery winning BFDI by him being the first character?
Do you think Fiery won BFDI by being the first character?
I feel like there's like some subconscious force. What do you think, Michael?
It's too long ago.
Oh no, I will say that I put him up for elimination like more times. Like he was on the squishy cherries and they were up for elimination like 5 times in a row. So like the viewers back then, they had every chance to get him out, but there were only like 12 voters at a time. So I don't know. Maybe it was like just the fact that since there were 12 voters, if you got like 3 votes, you'd be eliminated. But I feel like it's destiny, sort of.
Yeah. I think that was interesting, because I noticed that too, but also in the Total Fiery comics, I think Pencil won.
Oh yeah.
So like technically it wasn't his first try. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Fiery himself gets like 9th place, which I think is more fitting.
His own comic.
Yeah, in his own comic he gets eliminated. That's like a CEO being fired from their own company.
Good question. All right. You in the back with the white shirt. Yes.
What kind of direction do you think the series would have taken if you continued IDFB instead of making BFB in the first place?
What direction do you think the series would have taken if you continued IDFB instead of going to BFB?
I mean, I think IDFB was supposed to be like really lore heavy and like world building, and it would have continued down that route. I guess I felt like building a universe was just like too many things to keep track of. Yeah, but like there's a whole Google Doc where I like laid out some ideas I had, but I don't know if that'll ever see the light of day.
Yeah, that Google Doc has so much stuff in it that, you know, maybe the world will never see.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that if BFB, like, if it never happened, like, so many people like the art style of it and, like, even base their art on it. So, like, maybe the entire community would have shifted to, like, staying IDFB style. Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like the shift away from the asset style limbs to like the hand-drawn limbs might never have happened, like, which is interesting to think about.
Awesome. Okay, you in the very back. Yes.
If you guys did continue IDFB, would it be in the competition format or would it just be like on its own?
If you guys did continue IDFB, do you think it would be in competition format or in a different format?
I think IDFB, like one of the main pillars is that it's not competition based. It almost feels like if you added a competition to IDFB, it wouldn't be IDFB. So yeah, I would say no competition.
I like the premise of when you vote a character in, that they drill through the TLC. Yeah. And that also, yeah, I rewatched IDFB just like a few weeks ago, and it had been so long since I even saw it. It made me wonder what would happen next. So maybe it is kind of a loss that IDFB doesn't have a second episode. It needs more episodes.
Yeah, I can't think of anything.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let me see how much time we have left. All right, we'll take 2 more questions. You in the back with the blue hair.
Yeah, Nadia.
What happened to Evil Leafy?
I don't even remember what her last sighting was. Which episode?
Just like in the background of some of BFB.
Oh, was
consult the wiki.
Oh, yeah, the wiki needs to give up. What was
I'm
it?
pretty sure that that Evil Leafy's last appearance was in BFDIA 1-5 episodes. I'm pretty sure.
No, it was IDFB 1.
She was also in 5B.
No, I'm pretty sure only like Metal Leafy appeared in IDFB.
She appeared in the
We got somebody looking it up.
Oh, someone look it up. Someone look it up. Well, she's also in the Evil Maze game in the game 5B. And like you can play games anytime. Except 5B, the Flash is dead, so. Oh. Yeah, I forget actually.
Okay, well, I will say that the reason we decided not to have Evil Leafy as a contestant on BFB, even though like the other 30 people in that group did, was because I think if Evil Leafy became a contestant and was just doing these like really goofy challenges, like I don't know, swinging a swing set around, it would kind of remove the like mystery and like almost alien nature of Evil Leafy. Like, can you imagine if Evil Leafy's like, I don't even know how she would say, oh, I don't want to be eliminated, I'm scared. Like, that doesn't make sense. Oh. Well, Evil Leafy's the next Slender Man.
All right, last question. All right, yes, you in the purple shirt.
Miles.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you think about people's comparisons to other various competition-based shows, like Total Drama Island, being compared to BFDI and BFB and all other object shows?
How do you feel about people's comparisons of BFDI to other competition shows?
Well, I totally welcome people comparing like Total Drama and BFDI because like I'm not ashamed to admit that BFDI is essentially like, I don't know if you call it fan fiction, not fan fiction, but like a spin-off of Total Drama. Like Total Drama, and okay, it's not a fan fiction because the characters aren't the same, but you know, we would not have made BFDI if it weren't for Total Drama.
I also think I want to celebrate the BFB crew member Anthony Koss, Anko 6, for first being a BFB crew member to now working on Total Drama in Canada, which I think is incredible.
Yeah. So the great thing about fiction is that it's derivative and you can base it off of stories you like. That's how stories evolve. And I think with Total Drama, it's actually based off of the live action Survivor. So in a way, like, there's a show based off of a show based off of a show, and that's how like fiction is gets created. Yeah, so it's great. Yeah.
That says it so much better than I ever could.
I agree.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming to our event. That was the Texas Object Hangout. It was a lot of fun getting to meet you all. Thank you all so much for coming around. We're going to be packing up at 6, so until then, mingle, get to know each other. You all like the same show, at least I hope. Thank you all so much for coming. Special thanks especially to Meester and Brian, both of who helped me organize this, and thank you so much to Cary, Michael, and Spartan, and Luke, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you them for coming around. By the way, Luke, who is Sketchpad from Nightly Manor, is here, so go mob him. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Have fun.